Hello and welcome back to the A4Q Testing Summit live from Marrakesh. In this session, we have account manager training at Improved Quality Services, Benjamin Timmermans, who with more than 20 years of experience training people in the area of quality in IT, will share his insight and discuss everything you need to know about the ISTQB Expert Level certification. Benjamin, the stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Kenza. I had a bad. So is it up to me now? I think it is. Okay, thank you for the introduction. I have a bad connection. I didn't hear that well, so I hope that everybody can hear me. Thank you for the introduction. I will going to talk about ISTQB Expert Level. So I will share my screen and rearrange it a bit so I can see what is happening. So, ISTQB Expert Level. First of all, thank you, ISQI. Thank you, A4Q, for introducing me and for inviting me for the summit. I am in the Netherlands, in the sunny Netherlands. It's pretty cold over here compared to Marrakesh. You're all in Marrakesh. Most of you are in Marrakesh. Welcome, people over there. And also welcome people listening online. In the next 25-30 minutes, I will tell you about Expert Level, about my experience with it, what I believe is its value and its future. Some short program, it's not that official, but a short introduction, and I will explain a bit like Expert Level and then about its value and its future. And of course, there will be some time for questions and answers. I'm Benjamin Timmermans. Training and consultant for Improved Quality Services, company that exists almost 25 years. I'm involved in Improve since 2004, where I also got my first introduction to ISTQB. I started as a trainer. Now I am a trainer for several testing courses and requirements courses for testing on doing the training for foundation level, advanced level, and I'm also an accredited expert level training for test management. In the last almost 20 years, I trained, didn't count it, but a couple of hundred classes. Training a couple of thousand testers on different levels. And now I'm going to talk about expert level. I know there's always discussion about value of certificates, the value of expert level certificates. I'm trying to answer questions about what is the value and for whom it is. And I want to talk a bit about the future of, in my opinion, what is the future for expert level. This is a personal talk with some personal opinions I have. So you might not agree with me, so that is fine. I like it when people don't agree with me. So if you don't agree, just ask me questions and I'm glad to answer them at the end of the talk. Looking at ISTQB, just checked the website of ISTQB earlier this week. And there you see this picture of the portfolio of ISTQB, where you can see in the beginning there is a core, what they call the core, a foundation level. And if you have foundation level, you can have next courses. If you follow the core, then there are the courses on advanced level and then later on expert level. After foundation, you can also go to the agile branch with several courses, or you can go to the specialist branch. This talk will mainly go about expert level. So this part which is in the core. There are some dotted lines on the internet, on the website. That is not completely correct, because it seems that the dotted line goes from technical test analyst towards the core. That is not correct. One of the requirements for expert level is that you have the test manager certificate on advanced level. So that is an important one. So test manager is the one you need. Now, focusing a bit on content, I will not go in too much detail, but test management exists of 3 different parts, 3 modules: strategic test management, operational test management, managing the test team, where strategic test management is about testing on an organizational level, across the organization. During this 2-day course, we talk about mission and policies, and that is strategic level. So this is over projects. The next module is operational test management, and that is test management on project level. So some project management essentials, and talking about evaluation and reporting and stuff like that. This is the 3-day module, and the last part of test management is managing the test team. That is basically what the name says. It's about building, development, and leading the team. This is also a 3-day course. If you pass all 3 exams for those modules, then you can call yourself expert level certified for test manager. By the way, there is not a pre-described order for these courses. You can do them in any order you want. So that is for test management, and there is also expert level on improving the test process. That consists of 2 parts. The first one is about assessing test processes, which is a 4-day course, where you learn how you can assess your processes, what kind of models you can use, how to choose those models, and how you execute an assessment and what processes to be followed. And the next module, a 3-day module, is about you did the assessments, you have a plan. How are you going to implement the process improvements? What kind of organizational aspects do you have to consider? How to manage change, and in what kind of life cycle are you doing that? So that is all. This information is from the ISTQB website. A couple of years ago, we developed courses for that with my employer. I work for Improved Quality Services. We developed courses for that. We did that in cooperation with professional testing, and we have courses for both the test management courses and for the improved test process courses. So we are pretty proud on that we can deliver all courses in the core of the ISTQB portfolio, and that is unique in the world. We have several trainers for that. Trainers are Rob Hendricks. At the moment, he's the director of Improve. That's the first one. He's mainly doing the improvement testing process together with Patrick Duisers, a colleague. The third one, that's me, and I do the test management course together with Bob van den Burgt from Professional Testing. Bob van den Burgt is now also in Marrakesh. And all these courses are accredited courses, and they have been accredited by BNTQB, the Belgium and the Netherlands testing board. These courses, we have per module a separate course, and they are very interactive courses. This is, as you might know, Expert Foundation is about K1, K2, and K3 in knowledge levels, and it is about knowing, understanding, and applying Advanced level is also a bit about analyzing, but expert level is also about evaluating and creating. So those are all the knowledge levels of Bloom. They are considered. And during those courses, we really need the participants to participate in these courses, because this is learning with each other and learning from each other. Lots of discussions, lots of opinions. Here, the trainers are not really trainers, like in the form that they are instructors, like what you more or less see in ISTQB Foundation, but they are more facilitators of the process. Me as a trainer, I feel responsible that the right questions are being discussed. Personally, I don't care about the answers. It is because there are several answers possible. So I make sure that we are discussing the right topics. And this is also a lot about agree to disagree, because everybody has good practices, depending on their context, depending on their country, depending on what country they are, depending on what culture they are. We run those courses in an open schedule. And due to Corona, we only do the open schedules in virtual classrooms, which works pretty well, and which gives also people the opportunity to for an international audience. So pre-Corona, people had to fly into the Netherlands. Nowadays, we just do it virtually. And if you are a bit in the same time zone, then that is not really a problem. We also do these courses in company, and then it's of course also possible to do it face to face. Every separate session has a separate exam, where that the exam originally consists of a multiple choice part and an essay part, where the multiple choice covering the K3 and K4 learning objectives, and the essay part is for covering the K5 and the K6 learning objectives. I have to add something, because at the moment it is possible to only do the multiple choice part and still get the formal and pass the complete exam. Then going towards the big question for me, or one of the big questions, I have lots of discussion with colleagues and people from competitors and people in the field about what is the value of a certificate. And so what's the value of an ISTQB certificate? Maybe that's a better question. Is it about a certificate, or is it about an ISTQB certificate? Or is the question, what is the value of an ISTQB expert level certificate? And to answer those questions, I think I want to add some questions, because I don't think the value itself is only in certificates. I think it also has to do what is the value of an ISTQB expert level course, or what is the value of ISTQB courses, or even what is the value of courses. And I am going to try to answer those questions, and there will be several answers to that questions, or to those questions. I got that picture from the internet, and just for the IT nerds between us, the answer is on this sheet, as you might see if you take part of the calculations. But if I had to answer it, it is the same in the question I give most often in courses. I would say the answer, it depends. Because in my opinion, it depends on who are you asking that question. Do you answer that question from an ISTQB perspective, or as a trainer, or as a training provider, or as an employee, or a tester, or a professional, or as an employer, or from a company point of view, or from a development point of view, or uh, 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 whatever questions you may ask. Um, and if I try to answer that, if we talk about value, often the first thing that comes to mind is talk about money. Um, talk about money. Is it a money machine, ISTQB Expert Level certificates? Definitely not. Some people say ISTQB is a big money machine. Um, I have an opinion about that. Yes, of course, there are lots of people earning money with certificate and examination and courses. And me as a trainer and working for Improve, I'm one of them. But that is not for expert level. If you look at ISTQB Foundation, we have hundreds of thousands of people that have been certified. Advanced level, 10,000s of people being certified worldwide. But if you look at expert level, that's only dozens, maybe a couple of hundreds that have been certified on that level. If I also look at the number of participants we see in courses and the amount of time and money we have invested in developing those courses, that will definitely be a negative business case. But for us, it is more showing the world that if you are going to expert level, you have to come to us. We are just good at this. So this is not for us, it's not earning money for this one. Although we are a commercial company, of course. But if you look at from an ISTQB perspective, I think it has to do with the portfolio. ISTQB, its mission is to help the profession getting better and better. So I think you need to have something like a pyramid, and I think the core is a pyramid. You have lots and lots of people on foundation level, and there's lots of demand for that one, and less people will be specialized themselves in the specialists or in the advanced level, and even less will go on expert level. Looking at the certificates, yeah, what's the value of certificates? That really depends on who you're asking it. I think people, from a personal point of view, they might be proud. They did a training, they passed the exam, they are just happy to have a diploma. It's like the Boy Scouts earning their things if they have done so, when they have accomplished something. So you are proud of what you did. From an employer's perspective, they might use it to select people. Whether that is good or bad, I don't know. It has its pros and its cons. Of course, it's a way of selecting. And of course, you might miss good testers who don't earn a certificate. If I look from an employer's point of view, I'm also involved in doing job interviews. For me, it's not necessary that people have a certificate, but for me, it shows that someone, I think that's for me, that is as an employer, that's the value of a certificate. It shows that someone has invested some time and some money and some energy in his or her education, in his or her development. So that for me, it's proof for development. Does that prove that it's a good tester? No, it's not. It's only proof that the person invested in something. That doesn't mean that if someone doesn't have a certificate that he will not pass the interview. No, he has to explain how he or she has developed its profession, his career, how they did it in another way, and that is fine with me. If I ask people what is their value, and then I look to the value of participants, and it is pretty international audience that we see in our courses. From Belgium and the Netherlands, it's pretty close by. Germany, England, France, Saudi Arabia, Lithuania, Hungary, Bulgaria. More and more countries are involved. And what I see that on foundation level, it is often a requirement. It is a must by their employer or their company. And advanced, it is about career. And I see expert level that is a personal thing. People just want to develop themselves more, and it is more from an intrinsic motivation. And that is, people see it as their personal developments. It is not a must from their company. It's just wanting to learn with and from others. And that's why for me the value it's more in this picture. Of course it's about investing, so that is for me it's the money in it, but it is more about growing and developing and how you can blossom in your profession and see how we can go further. And I don't know where it's heading. And then I come to the other part of this presentation, which is a bit more challenging, because then I'm going to talk about, yeah, what's the future of ISTQB, and that's a challenging one for me, because that is just looking into a crystal ball. If I look to the contents of ISTQB syllabi, if you look at the syllabi for expert level, you can see, if you look into detail, there from 2011. Some people say that is old, that needs to be updated. And yes, it might be updated. Is it necessary? From a trainer's point of view, I don't need an update, because I think there is enough freedom for me as a trainer to add the new developments in the course. And we are always discussing about the present context in this course. And we're always looking during the course what happened, what is happening right now, and what will happen in the near future. That is part of the course. Learning from the past, see how we act right now, and see how we need to act in the coming few weeks, few months, few years. So there's not, for me, it's not really an update necessary. From an exam point of view, there we have some issues, some challenges, because at the original exam is a pretty time-consuming exam to make, but especially to correct, to check the answers, because the original exam is a multiple choice exam and an essay-based exam. And as you can imagine, multiple choice is pretty easy to correct. Yeah, you can do that automatically and no discussion. It's just Boolean. The answer is correct or wrong. Essay-based questions are more time-consuming to check and to correct. And of course, it is on expert level, so it's on K5 and K6. So it's difficult to see, is this a good answer? Because it is also about creating. So it's also about stuff which is not in the syllabus, but we are dealing with content of the syllabus and how could we use that in other contexts. So, and at the moment, I believe there are only a couple of exam providers delivering exams like that, and they are corrected in Europe, and the Europe tariffs are pretty high to look at worldwide. So I think we need to make it more accessible for other regions in the world where there are used to other tariffs for the exams, because now it is completely out of line. So that needs to be adapted in the coming years. And there's also a working group working on that and discussing. And it is also the reason why at the moment it is also possible to only do the exam with multiple choice questions. But in a couple of months, we will evaluate the results and see how we should move on. The future, I believe, for me, Corona had a lot of negative influences, but for expert level, it brought us some pretty good benefits, because due to Corona, we were pressured to go to do this in a completely virtual classroom. And we thought it wasn't possible, but it is possible. And we are running our virtual classroom with good success, with happy participants. So now it's more accessible for people from all over the world. Although we are at the moment we are organized in an open schedule for Improve, and as we are in the Netherlands, it is most easy for people which are pretty close to our time zones. But we are considering also to offer virtual classrooms in other time zones, so to make it more accessible for other people in the world. So for me, that is the future. If you want to go to expert level courses, you can check for all kinds of detailed information on our website. All the expert level course I was talking about, we have scheduled them in our open schedule. It is in English. All the materials in English speaking language will be English. Unfortunately, we can't deliver it in Spanish or in Chinese or in other languages. So we are limited to English. And if people are interested in organizing it in the region, just contact me and I'm glad to help you. All detailed information can be found on the website of Improve, which is the link is on our as on the slides. So basically, that is my story. Are there any questions? And of course, you can ask me questions right now, or questions can be asked later using my mail address.
Hello
And for
again.
now, I really want to thank you.
So for now, there are no questions asked on our comments section. As Benjamin said, please don't hesitate to contact him if afterwards you think of a new question. So, Benjamin, do you have a last word for our viewers? Maybe you can't hear me.
I have a problem hearing you, but I will do it the other way. Right now, or questions can be asked later using my mail address.
Hello again.
Now, I really want to thank you. So.
Benjamin, can you hear me? I'm sorry, we have some technical problems.
I can't hear you, Kenza.
Okay, so as I was
I can't
saying,
hear you, but I think you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
So I want to thank you very much. And I want to wish you a great General Assembly the coming days, and also have fun with the rest of the summit.
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you for your presentation today to the A4Q streaming live from Marrakesh. We wish you a great time, and we hope to see you soon. Goodbye.